Hey everybody, it's Robert here with learningtodj.com, and today we're going a little bit deeper into this topic of how you can get started DJing with just your laptop only. No equipment required. We're just going to use our computer and explore the art of DJing with Rekordbox. So in our previous videos, we've talked a little bit about the technical sides of DJing and how we can use the software in order to basically play around with DJing in Rekordbox. And in today's video, we're just going to explore a little bit more of the UI a little deeper to understand kind of what else is going on in Rekordbox and what else we can kind of do and how we can change the view a little bit. So starting off here, we're going to go to the top left-hand corner and we're going to select the menu here that says 2 deck horizontal. Basically, Rekordbox allows you to have upwards of 4 decks or 4 tracks playing at any one time and enables you to have 5 different kind of styles or layouts of the software as it's displayed to you. So currently we have 2 deck horizontal selected, but we can also select the 2 deck vertical view, which is a little different. A lot of scratch DJs use this kind of view because it helps them to have a visual intuition for when they're scratching. But we can also enable the 4 deck horizontal view, in which case now we can have an upwards of 4 tracks playing at one time, and we get kind of a larger mixer console and a set of volume faders and EQ here now. We can also transition to the 4 deck vertical view, which will similarly give us a vertical view, but for our 4 decks playing out. And finally, we can go to the browse view here, which will just give us a bit more space to explore and be able to find the tracks that we want to play. In our actual track collection view, we can see that we have our tracks listed here. If you ever want to modify any of these kind of titles or anything like that that you see, you can come to the top bar here, right click with your mouse, and then it'll open up a context menu here that you can go ahead and you can unselect different parts. So say, for example, we don't really care about the artwork. We can go ahead and unselect that and remove it. But I kind of like the artwork, so I'm going to leave it there. Next, we have on the left-hand tree side, we have kind of the music selection view. And so right now we're in the collection view of Rekordbox. And don't worry if your UI looks a little bit different. Rekordbox is constantly being updated in terms of how the UI changes from version to version, but the principles remain the same. So right now we're in the collection view, which kind of gives us a collection of all of our tracks in Rekordbox. And we can also go to the playlist view where people can actually go ahead and they can create playlists and they can add music to their playlist by dragging and dropping music in here. So for example, we have a playlist here, another playlist here that I've prepared, and we have our Learning to DJ playlist with a bunch of our tracks in here. Closing the playlist view, we can also see related tracks, which is a way that Rekordbox can allow us to get track recommendations as we play back and prepare. There's a section called samples, which allows you to kind of sample using some of Pioneer's Rekordbox enabled equipment. There's then an iTunes tab. Natively, Rekordbox integrates with iTunes. You can pull all your music from iTunes into Rekordbox and organize in Rekordbox. And also Rekordbox supports some external services like SoundCloud for kind of streaming capability if you pay for a particular paid tier of service. There's then the Explorer view, which allows us to explore our computer to find different music on our computer. There's a devices view, which kind of is when you're plugging in your USB to Rekordbox so you can load music on. There's a history section, which can kind of help us to go back in time to remember, oh, what was that one track that I played before that other track? And you can actually see a complete history of all the tracks that you've played in your sets on Rekordbox. And finally, there's a recordings tab where you can save your recordings for Rekordbox. So I'm going to go ahead back to our 2 deck horizontal view here, and I'm going to go back to our collection view. So Rekordbox, as I mentioned, is quite a compelling and complex piece of software. There is a lot deeper sides of Rekordbox and what you can do with Rekordbox. But to just get started, being able to navigate around the different UI components is kind of helpful. And it's sometimes helpful to just explore and click buttons and just see what happens in the actual software and see kind of how that affects with your DJing. All right, be sure to check out my next and potentially final video on this topic of DJing with just a laptop only. I think you're really going to enjoy some of the tips that I provide you in that video.